Okay, so literally for about the 19th time trying to film this video. I know it's been a while. I know we got a lot to catch up on. Yeah, it's been a year. 376 days or something like that since my last upload as of filming. Where do I even start? Dang. It has been a minute. It has been a whole hot minute. But, dang, I'm about to mess up my lines I just bent. Welcome back. Welcome back myself. Yeah, I decided to pick up the camera again because, I mean, it really has just been a very, very long time. I felt like it was finally to the point where there was enough that's changed on the car to actually film something with some content to it. Because, I mean, a year ago now, that's how long it's been. I started getting to the point where I felt like I was making the exact same video over and over and over and over and over again because So I felt like I needed to really quickly jump in here because there's just a bunch of framing issues here where you're gonna see me wearing about 10 different hoodies, 10 different shirts, because this was filmed over months. Literally months. Like in the beginning of the video, you'll hear me say I've tried like 19 times to film this. That is 100% true. So bear with me. First video back in a while. Just needed to put that out there. Over and over again because I was trying to stretch it and trying to make the content and trying to keep the channel growing. And I mean, like I said before, man, I do not consider myself a YouTuber. I don't consider myself one of the social media influencers, anything like that. I'm just a dude that enjoys his car and is building it and trying to show it, you know, to people that want to see it. So, like I said, I started trying to do things to try and compensate for that and keep the content flowing, but it just got to a point where I was like, this isn't why I started this channel. This isn't why I started picking up a camera. This isn't why, you know, I wanted to share this with people, is to showcase X, Y, and Z. Like, I did this because I wanted to showcase the build and have something for myself to look back on. So I kind of just decided, you know what, I'm gonna put the camera down and I'll come back to it whenever I feel like, you know, there's been enough change to the car. And I think we're finally getting to that point. A real quick tour of where the car sits right this second. I've still got the 33 wheels on there. I'm still waiting on my wheels to come. It literally has been a year since I've ordered them and they haven't shown up yet. So that's a change that hasn't happened. But let me grab my telephone. Something that has changed is the engine bay. So let's have a look at this. Okay, so engine bay. As you can see, I finally got everything coated. All the Cardo Gold PRP parts are looking fantastic. Gold stuff is done, the bronze is done. Simon over at Sydney Cerakote absolutely killed it. Everything that you see that has a kind of powder coatish color on it is actually a Cerakote. And yeah, that was all done by Sydney Cerakote. Intercooler, pipe work, everything. Power steering pump and the aircon, I'm gonna take all that stuff out because I plan on going a different route with that and getting one of the kits. I just haven't gotten the, like, I haven't committed to that just yet. So there is a plan there. It's gonna take me some time. Running the electric drive-by-wire 6 throttle conversion. So usually you have the single throttle up here on the front of the plenum. I've completely ditched that idea and gone with Daytona Racing 6 throttle setup. So you can see, yeah, there you go. So that is the drive-by-wire electric motor that's gonna actuate the throttles. So it still runs a 6 throttle setup, just like an OEM GTR does. The only difference is mine is now actuated by the single servo there, and it's electric. So this guy can now go in the trash because I don't need it. That's all going to be controlled by an electronic throttle pedal, which I have
Here. One of the other mini projects I've got. Fuel lines. I wanted to get my fuel and oil lines done. So as you can see, I've gotten the pipe bender out and basically sat here and taught myself how to bend the alloy pipe. Now I just need to cut it, which I've cut that one, file it down, get the burrs off of it, put the fittings on, and then rehang it in the car for the final shape. So that's what I'm going to do today. That's the lines all hung. So you can see they go all the way to the back of the car. Move my light. And all the way up to where the fuel tank's going to be. Fuel tank's still on the ground over there, so I'm going to put it up in the car now and just double check where I got the fittings at. Okay, so move my light again. Alright, so with the drop tank in, I do have access to each of those fittings, which is good because that means I can now hard mount the drop tank in, because anything I need to access, I can access from the top. So I might go ahead and just put the filler neck back on, see if I can't get the Atessa pump all hooked back up, get everything on the diff side pretty much buttoned up and ready to be done, because once I do this, the drop tank actually doesn't need to come back out, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and just button this up all the way. But yeah, pretty solid effort, because I can reach all of those fittings with the drop tank in, and then anything I do need to access, I can access from the stock little access cover that's in the trunk. So that'll go like that. The carpet goes over the top, and then that's the hanger. Comes out the hole. Storage tank's inside. My fittings are just right there. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So yeah, everything from this point, as soon as I get to the point where I'm starting to talk about seeing what leaks and what doesn't leak, because I mean, it's inevitable with a brand new build, especially with how much has changed on the car. Something is going to go wrong. I know that. But from this point forward, it's a much easier battle to win than doing all of this at one giant time. And like I've said before, I mean, I feel like this is obvious by now. I'm not a rich guy by any means, so it's taken a long time to get to even this point, but we here. So the other reason why I kind of stepped away was I actually bought a business. And I don't know if I've said it or not, but I was running a Snap-on truck for Snap-on about a year and a half ago. I started with them and fell in love with the job and bought the business. So that meant I had to focus solely on that for quite a while. And I mean, I'm still in pretty much focus on that only mode at the moment. But yeah, like I had just no time. Like I had to figure out what the new life was of a business owner. And yeah, you're time poor, very time poor. So now I'm just beginning to get into a position where I can start to bring this back to the forefront. So I'm gonna start going hard these next couple of months and see if I can't get this thing running. And you're gonna see a lot of Snap-on stuff around the garage. 100% it's product placement, 100%, because I'm buying it. So I'm gonna be using it. It's gonna be in almost every single shot probably. And that's because I sell it. I'm a Snap-on dealer, so I use the tools. You'll see me use them. I'll probably be doing demos and talking to you about the tools while I'm working on the car, because it literally goes hand in hand. It'd be stupid of me not to try and intermingle the business with what I'm doing on YouTube, because it's literally mechanics, you know. So you notice the wheel and tire is completely off, and right there I got my whole new set of wheels in. So again, something else we're gonna cover. Now I got the R35 brakes there, Marian's caliper kit coated in Cardo Gold there, the balancers here, all the different little bits and parts, and man, there's stuff everywhere. I've been collecting. I've been sitting here just grinding in the background. I know I haven't, like I said, uploaded in a while. So we might as well get into that. This is the stock wheel and tire setup here. You can see I got the dust shield back here. What I want to do is basically I need to remove the stock brakes, the stock calipers, and then cut this hub off, because that dust shield is going to get in the way of the huge R35 brakes. All right, so I kind of jumped ahead. I went ahead and put the R35 brakes on all four corners. I've cut the dust shields off of all four corners as well, which they are right here. So the fronts came off pretty easy. You just basically make a cut, expand it open, and pull the shield off. The rears, they were a little bit harder. So these are spot welded around the hub. So I basically just rolled them and popped the spot welds off and cut, and yeah. They're off. I've cleaned it up. It doesn't look bad. So you can't see because it's too dark. But like I said, I've got the brakes on all four corners. Excuse my terrible lighting right now. I'm just now getting back into this, so just bear with me. So the only thing I'm waiting on right now is the spring clips. Let me just turn this so you can see. So there should be a spring clip here that holds the pad in, and I was missing all of that, so I've got that on order. That should be here pretty soon. So as you can see, the adapter kit is all in there and connected and adapting. So they are a huge upgrade over the stock rotor. I'll just grab one real quick and show you. Little pro tip: make sure you're putting your front hubs on the front, rear hubs on the rear. Otherwise, the adapters don't work. Just saying. So that's the stock rotor there. I mean, already, I'm not going to put it on there, but you can see the size difference. But that's not why I'm here. So I went and got my wheels, which are these glorious boxes here. Some Work ZE40s. Now I've waited literally a year for these things to show up. So I jumped ahead because, oh yeah, got them limited edition socks, bruh. These boxes are empty. Do you see my problem, Ted? We got no wheels, do we? But we do. They're right here. So these are the ZE40s wrapped in a 275 3518 Bridgestone RE71 RS, which is basically a semi-slick with a higher tread rating. So these are 200 wear tread rating, so it should last a little bit. But it is still a semi-slick with a really soft tire compound, so should grip up. But the whole reason for me wanting to get a 18-inch with R35 brakes and not a drag radial was because I didn't want to be going to the drags every freaking Wednesday night trying to chase a time, chase a number. It's just not how I drive the car. So the last setup I had with the China Power akin to Comets, I did a 10.8 at 137, I think it was. And I mean, that was on a cheese cutter basically. So what I'm hoping is that with the 275s on all four corners, a digital G sensor, like a bunch of obviously more power, I should be able to get into the single digits, but then it'll be the same thing, man. I'm gonna go, I'll do 3 launches. My 4th run will be my Hail Mary run, and whatever I get, I get. I'm at this stage, I'm hoping for just high to mid 9. One of those I'll be happy with. The mile an hour is really what I want to see, but without knowing what power I'm making and without knowing how the car is performing, it's kind of pointless for me to yam on about that. So let's put the front wheels on and I'll show you just the difference in how it feels up the wheel well versus the stock ones. But you can see the 35 brake literally fills the entire wheel, and thanks to the wheel choice, clears by a mile. I have so much room right there. It doesn't touch the caliper. The barrel has plenty of room between the caliper and, you know, the inner barrel. So yeah, pretty stoked with that wheel choice. It was either do the typical TE37 in bronze, black, white, purple, pink, whatever the hell kind of color, or go with the Nismo LMGT4, which is another staple for these cars. I wanted to try and do something that was a little bit different, that was still going to give me the clearance I needed for an R35 brake, and I think, yeah, that's freaking nailed it in my opinion. Big shout out to Mikey, because he's got a set of these in blue, and as far as we know, we're the only 32s in Sydney with these wheels at the moment. So there you go. Different, accomplished. Sticky wheel, sticky rubber, accomplished. And the only other thing to check really is how badly I'm going to have to roll the guard, because I know I'm going to have to do that. And then I've got some toe and camber issues I got to fix it back there, because she's a pokey boy. If we look at the top, got a little bit of poke to it, but it's in the air right now. The wheels aren't really going to be too representative, but here you can see the toe is like way out. So they will be needing some adjustments. And I dare say the rears are going to probably get rolled, and the fronts will probably definitely get rolled. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked, man. They came out great. Next step is to just get the rest of the brake components done. So I've got a braided brake line kit coming. So that'll finish off the brakes, then I can bleed them and they're done. I don't have to pull the calipers off again. Yeah, real quick and dirty kind of catch up on where the car is. It's crazy, like it looks completely different with the wheels. And I was really kind of on the fence if I was gonna like the anodized gold, Cardo Gold hats against the wheel, but I think it looks fantastic. So pretty happy with that. Can't wait to see this on the ground. I still have to put obviously 2 more wheels on, and I apologize in my messy garage, but I have no time these days, so that's why I've been picking away at this thing super slow. To finish this thing off, what have I got left? Well, now that the brakes, wheels, and tires are all done, basically the underneath of the car is ready to go. The only real thing left for me to do now is finish plumbing things up. So put my oil accumulator in, hang the oil filter, get my sensors done, put the ECU in, and then from that point, you know, thermo fan, a bunch of little stuff. I want to redo my air conditioning and my power steering pump with a different kit. That's another kind of big spin, so we'll see when I can get that done. It may be after the car's running at this point, I don't know. But I do think this year is kind of realistic, so fingers crossed, fingers crossed. I'm grinding away, trying to make it happen. We'll get there. Anyway, good to be back, and I will definitely be making more videos. I apologize it's taken me so long to do this, but yeah, it's been a bit of a journey and a new way of learning what to do with time and how to manage it, because it takes some time. It takes a lot of time. I'll catch you guys on the next one.